In this video, we're going to look at the top 5 UPS interview questions and help you plan fantastic answers that'll land you the job with UPS. So, first question that always comes up is a question regarding your previous work experience. And so, in order to create a great answer, I've given you a few suggestions. You have to start with something that's very relevant. You have to also be very credible, so you have to believe what you're saying about the job. And to really get a great answer, you have to back up what you say with some evidence. So here's an indication of some things that UPS want to hear. They want to see relevant and current job experience. So ideally, you'd be talking about your most recent job, and that would be relevant to your position. And you have to really stress the relevance and compare the job you're applying to with the job that you did previously at your last company. And if you can match those two up with evidence, with credibility, that's really starting to have a great answer. You want to show them that you're a hard worker, you've got a great work ethic, some good examples around that you can evidence is really powerful. If you're applying for package handling, experience of physically demanding work, if you can show that you've worked in a physically demanding job for several years continuously with a good attendance record, that really stands out as something good, and I really want to hear something like that. You can also talk about what development you gained, so what you learned from your previous roles, what training you undertook, and how that matches with the job that you're applying to now. We love hearing that sort of thing. And also, if you can talk about managers having a positive opinion of you, and if you can back that up with a strong reference that's got evidence showing that these managers that you previously worked with have a great opinion of you, that is extremely powerful. Moving on to the next question, always comes up, what hours can you work? And there's a really simple way to answer this question. However, this is a question that people answer really badly and it can cost you the job. First thing, you have to start off with being honest. You have to actually believe what you're saying. You want to show off as much flexibility as you possibly can, and you want to come across as someone as committed and that is going to be there for them when they need you. So here's some great things to mention. Remember, UPS is in the shipping business, and shipping is a 24-hour, 7 days a week activity. So if you can talk about being able to work evenings and weekends, which is a really great time, really difficult time to staff, if you can say that you're very happy to work out over Christmas, that is really powerful, and Cyber Monday. And it also shows an awareness of the business. So show off that you can be available at the times that they really need you, and that really boosts your chances. It's worth mentioning that UPS delivered around 750 million packages over Christmas. So if you get in the current statistic and say, I can be there over Christmas, here's your pinch point, here's how I can help you, that's really powerful. But the most important thing, and the biggest mistake people make, is that they don't focus on what you can do, they talk about what they can't do. So they'll start saying, I can't do this time, I can't do this time. And they're just reeling off all of the times that's really hard to get people. And it makes you much less attractive as an employee. So talk as much as you can about everything you can do. And just try not to mention the things you can't do unless you're specifically asked about them. Don't even discuss it. Just talk about, I can do these times, I can do these times, I can be really flexible, and that will help you stand out on this question. Next thing you have to do is you have to show off your knowledge about UPS. And if you're doing this question and you do your research, you can really max out on this. So on the scoring of this question, if you can show an encyclopedic knowledge, they'll just give you full marks on this question and move on to the next one. And the way that I coach people in answering this question is the answer gets better as you get in. So there's things that a few people know, which is really great to mention. If you can cover the things only a few people know, if you mention things that some people know, your answer is less impressive. And if you mention things that every single person knows, well, that's not entirely impressive at all. So some things you could discuss, some talking points. You can talk about how it's the world's largest airline. You want to check that's current because it may change after this video is published. Currently, they are by far the largest airline in the world, flying cargo all over the world. You can talk about their commitments to sustainability, electric vehicles. UPS stands for United Parcel Service. A lot of people don't know that. Get that in there. You can talk about their world port operations, which are really incredible. If you want to really go back and really show off all your knowledge, you can talk about the company's origins in the American Messenger Company, and then discuss the function that UPS provides for the world, which is logistics and supply chain management, which is their big businesses. Next question, strengths and weaknesses. Typical interview question always comes up. So you need to show, firstly, that your strength is a genuine strength. You need to have good evidence to back it up, and your strength has to be very highly relevant to your job. So here's an example of a fantastic strength. So I've said I have outstanding time management and I am exceptionally reliable. In my reference, my manager states I'm always on time and highly flexible. So this is a fantastic answer because one, it's extremely relevant to the job. Being on time and reliable is very important to the operation of UPS. But then you've went further. You don't have to take my word for it. Who says that they're late and unreliable in interviews? Nobody says that. Everybody paints this wonderful picture of themselves. But you've went a step further and you've went, actually, it's not just my opinion. Here is rock solid evidence from a manager, from another person that backs me up on this point. So if you can get some evidence and something that's highly relevant, you get a really, really powerful answer that will really impress them. Moving on to weaknesses. This is a trap. You have to be very careful. First thing you have to do is you have to start with a real weakness. You're not going to fool them into accepting a rubbish, not genuine weakness. So, for example, if you say, I'm too much of a perfectionist, well, that's not really a weakness. That's just a humble bragging. Then you have to talk about that you're actually doing something about your weakness. So you need a kind of fixable weakness that you're working on and you can show some progress. But most importantly, don't give a weakness that is relevant to the job. So for the strength, it's highly relevant. For the weakness, it should not be very important. So you definitely don't want to say something like, I have a bad back, so I'll struggle to lift too many packages. You're going for package handling and you're not good at lifting things, well, you're just going to lose the job. And so the format for answering this question, you want to start with one of the weaknesses I am aware of is, state your weakness and follow those 3 steps to work out what your weakness is, and then go on to say, I've been working on this by. These are the things that I have been doing, and this is the progress that I've made, and I'm actively overcoming this weakness to be even better in the future. Last question, why do you want to work for UPS? This is extraordinarily likely to come up, and you have to really plan out and perhaps even write out and script this entire answer. So, the 5 things you have to get in for a great answer, you have to show off your extensive research. You have to really know what the company does and how you fit into that. You want to link to your skills. So, if you're very good with manual labor and you like manual jobs and you're going for package handling, then that's a great link. You can talk about progression. UPS is an absolutely enormous company with really great routes to progression. So even starting off at the bottom, there is steps to move up even without a university degree, and you can do really well. You need compelling links to interest to talk about what you're interested in and how UPS matches up to that. And overall, when you're answering this question, they're looking for enthusiasm. They're looking at people that are enthusiastic about joining UPS because they're going to be better employees. So really answer with great enthusiasm, and it really stands out when you do. So some things you might mention is a referral from an employee. So if you know someone that actually works there, you can talk about their experiences and how that's got you interested in the company. You can talk about how they're in the Fortune 500 and being part of a huge company has great advantages. You can talk about the important function that UPS provides, keeping goods moving in the economy. You can talk about the development opportunities. So, what does UPS do to make employees better at what they do? You can talk about liking physical work, and you can talk about the culture at UPS. So, you get those things in, and you'll start to get a really great answer. So, when you're planning out your interview answers, work through this video step by step. Try and script out as many of the answers as you can, and you'll do great. So hopefully this video has been helpful to you, and great, and best of luck with your UPS interview. Thank you very much for watching.